Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So, back in February 2026, something huge happened in the world of artificial intelligence. The entire global conversation found a new center, and that was New Delhi. The India AI Impact Summit wasn't just another tech conference. It was a really pivotal moment that aimed to place India right at the heart of AI governance. So what exactly went down at this summit, and what does it mean for the future of AI? Well, in this explainer, we're going to unpack just that.
Okay, so here's how we're going to break this down. First, we'll look at how India really captured the world's attention, setting a brand new stage for the whole AI debate. Then we'll dive into the philosophy behind its strategy, this idea of AI for all. After that, we'll get into the massive ecosystem India is building to make it all happen, tackle that big question about jobs, and finally, ask whether this summit has actually forged a new global consensus for AI's future.
So, first up, this new global stage. You have to understand, this wasn't just some tech conference. It was a very strategic move to shift the center of gravity for AI policy. And importantly, it marked the first time a global AI summit of this scale was ever held in the Global South. A very big deal. For those 5 days, New Delhi basically became the AI capital of the world. And that's a powerful statement, right? Coming from the world's most populous country. It was a signal that India isn't just a passenger in the AI revolution. It's planning to be in the driver's seat, shaping how this technology is governed and used for everyone's benefit on a global scale. The sheer scale of this thing is, well, it's pretty hard to wrap your head around. Let's just look at these numbers for a second. Over 100 countries represented, more than 250,000 delegates. Think about that. 840 exhibitors, 500 sessions. And here's the kicker, more than 40 global CEOs and 20 heads of state were there. This was not a tech meetup. This was a global political and economic event of the highest level. And this wasn't just India's own view. This feeling was echoed by leaders from all over. This quote here from New Zealand's Minister of Science, Dr. Shane Reedy, I think it just captures the mood perfectly. The world wasn't just watching from the sidelines. It was actively acknowledging India's ambition and its potential to really lead the way in the AI space. So, what's really driving all of this? What's the big idea? That brings us to the core philosophy behind India's entire approach, this principle of AI for all. AI for all is basically the foundational mantra here. The goal is to make sure that AI doesn't just become a tool for a few wealthy companies or a handful of countries. No, the vision is to democratize this incredible technology, to use it for widespread social empowerment and inclusive growth, especially for the nations of the Global South. And this is where it gets really fascinating. India has framed this very modern vision around 3 ancient concepts called sutras. You can think of them as these foundational threads. They focus on people, putting human rights and benefits first, the planet, making sure AI is sustainable, and progress, driving inclusive growth for all. It's a really unique fusion of ancient wisdom and cutting-edge tech. Now, to turn these philosophical sutras into concrete action, the summit's work was split into 7 interconnected working groups, which they called chakras. Each chakra is a core area of focus, from developing talent and ensuring social inclusion to building safe AI and democratizing resources. This is the practical roadmap, the action plan to make AI for all a reality. But look, a grand vision is one thing. It's nothing without a solid foundation. So let's see how India is actually building the ecosystem to support all this, starting with some absolutely massive financial and infrastructural commitments.
Let's start with the headline number, over 10,300 crore rupees. That's the budget for the ambitious IndiaAI mission, spread over 5 years. I mean, that is a very clear signal of the government's serious, long-term commitment.
And where is all that money going? Well, a huge chunk of it is for pure, raw computing power. India is deploying 38,000 high-end graphics processing units, or GPUs. This is the essential hardware, the engine you need to train and run the kind of large-scale AI models that will power this entire ecosystem. And this investment, it's all part of a really comprehensive, full-stack strategy. As you can see from these 7 pillars of the India AI mission, it's not just about buying hardware. It's a complete plan that covers everything from compute power and data to funding startups and training people. The goal here is to build an entire self-sufficient AI ecosystem right from the ground up.
Of course, any conversation about AI eventually comes around to the big elephant in the room, jobs. It's one of the biggest public concerns, and the summit tackled this issue head-on, framing the debate in a very specific way.
This is the question on literally everyone's mind, isn't it? The fear that automation is going to lead to mass unemployment. It's real and it's widespread. So how did the leaders and experts at the summit actually address this anxiety?
So the debate really comes down to two sides. You've got the fear of widespread job elimination on one hand, and on the other, you have the argument that AI will mostly augment human skills, create new roles, make us more efficient. The consensus at the summit leaned heavily towards augmentation, but, and this is a big but, it will only work with proactive government policies and a massive investment in reskilling the workforce.
This quote from a key government official, Ajoy Sharma, I think it just articulates the summit's official stance perfectly. The message is pretty clear. AI is not some uncontrollable force of nature. It's a tool, a very powerful one for sure, that needs to be deliberately shaped and built to serve human needs and enhance our own capabilities. And this isn't just talk, by the way. India is actively building the infrastructure to manage this transition. We're seeing AI being integrated into national job matching platforms to connect people with new roles, and a big push to make these tools accessible in local languages all across the country. The goal is clearly to use AI to support workers through this shift, not to replace them. Okay, so when you put all of this together, the philosophy, the investment, the focus on jobs, it all builds up to our final section, India's ambition to lead a new, more inclusive global conversation on how we actually govern artificial intelligence. For years, the conversation around AI governance has really been led by the US, Europe, and China. India's goal with this summit was to act as a kind of bridge, to create a consensus-based framework that balances the priorities of developed nations with the really urgent needs of the global South.
And this slide really highlights a fundamental shift in focus. Previous global summits, the ones in the UK, Seoul, Paris, they were often principle first. They were concentrating on long-term risks, safety, and ethics. But the New Delhi summit deliberately pivoted to what you could call an impact-first approach. The focus here was on tangible socioeconomic benefits, on practical implementation, and on how AI can be used to drive development right now.
So all of this leaves us with one final massive question. The India AI Impact Summit has without a doubt laid out an ambitious and inclusive vision for the world. But can this impact-first approach, championed by one nation, truly reshape our collective technological future? Well, that is the question that now hangs in the balance. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to Grey Matar for more such interesting content.